Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's a cold one out there. It's been a while since I talked about this bench here. I think I did a little 3.5 minute video or so a while back when I very first built this. But I've had the opportunity to use this bench now pretty hard. As you can tell, it's got a lot more wear on it since the last video, because this bench has been going to job sites with me for quite a while now. Sometimes it's in the trailer. It has a slot inside the workbenches that it stores, as well as sometimes it just rides in the bed of the pickup. But I put quite a bit of little thoughts into this thing, and I thought I'd show some of that. Also, since the last time I added this T-track slot, so you can run a miter gauge from your table saw down the side of this router plate. And the neat thing with that is if you need to do a chamfer on the end of a board, or you're making window stools on site, stuff like that, you can easily get a nice straight guide. And if all you're doing is edging, then you can just leave that out and you can run all around your router. It's great because you can walk all around this little table, set it up. I just throw it on a couple sawhorses or one of those Werner benches. It's fantastic. But I also, when I did my edges here, I measured the inside of these Irwin Quick Grips. These aren't the little bitty Irwins that you get for nothing all the time at Lowe's. These are the little heavier version. Anyway, missing the rubber pad on that one. But even without that, I measured this little gap right in here and made sure that my side body on this was short enough that it doesn't interfere if you want to clamp something from the side like that. You can actually do that. It's kind of nice, especially as a stop block for your miter saw. If you want a stop block here, you can just, say it's, well, even like right here, I have my normal door casing height written right on the side and a tick mark. And all I have to do is make sure my saw is set up in the right position. And I have it marked here as well as down here on this end, and I can cut left and right casing on this without having to move anything. It's all there. So all I'd have to do is put my stop block on that mark and give it a quick clamp down. And now every piece of stock I want to cut for a door or whatever drops right in there and runs right to the blade where it's supposed to. Just a handy little setup. Keep a little bit of wood with it. Running a router table here has been fantastic too. When I did the video the other time, I had a basic Woodpecker's aluminum plate in there. This is a great plate. It has my DeWalt router right on it. So I can still drop my router right back in here. It's just a friction fit. And then you can use it. But since using that, I found these JESSM lifts for not that much. I want to say maybe in the $160 range or somewhere. And by sticking my router in a lift, I save so much fiddling under the table. And if you've messed very much with these DeWalt 618 routers, you know that the adjustments up and down and everything on them are sticky at best, and I don't know, they're terrible in my opinion. But if you put it in a lift, it's great. It's a 2.25 horsepower router. It's been everything I need. Even if I needed to make a quick shaker door or something on job site, I've made shaker doors on this bench. It's not that difficult. Just run your rail and style bits right here and push them with your deal and move on. It's not as nice as the router table over there, but this is on the job site. If you need to crank out a little bit of trim, a little bit of something simple, it's great for that. Have a nice little arched cut behind here, and this perfectly fits the swing of the DeWalt 20 volt miter saw. So you can work all the way full range of motion with the DeWalt 20 volt. I built it for this instead of my 12 inch because this saw literally does 80-90% of what I do, maybe more than that. And there's just no point in lugging that big heavy 12 inch saw around for no more than I need it. So this handles almost all production trim work and just normal things you need to set this up for. This, in case you're curious, this is what I used to do the top. I did not just mark a grid and hope for the best. This was done with the Domino Fix. Domino Fix Tools makes this, and it has dogs in it if you can see those, they stick through the bottom. They're 20mm dogs. And what that does is it causes every time you drop this down, these holes here are lined up exactly where they need to be, referenced off the prior holes. So you could do it with any router, obviously, but I did it with my OF 1400, and all you have to do is put a collet in the bottom of this. They make a collet for this. And the router will just snap into there and drill the holes. It's relatively fast. Did the whole top of this in a matter of, I don't know, 30 minutes maybe to drill all of it. And it's laid out right, because all you have to do is start at one end, set your board down, and then work your way all the way across. Once you reach the other side, flip it sideways and head down it the other way, and from there you can fill in any direction you want to. It's just very handy. And then after you've done that, you can use your clamps everywhere, like these quick clamps, or your ones that are more like that. I believe Micro Jig even makes some like that. So you could also do your tracks for the Micro Jig clamps on something like this, and it'd be similar. And I did go ahead and buy their pro set of everything to get started with the match fit system. So I'll be doing some of that on some things coming up soon as well. But with this, you don't have to worry about sawdust or anything getting in your clamping system, because it's just going to fall right through the dog holes and they stay clear. You can do whatever you'd like. And all it is to use this, just drop in anywhere on the table, drop it down, lift the tail like that, and you're rock solid. You can even get in here and hand plane or whatever you need to do to that. It will hold it right there. So I also went behind my saw finally, and on the little lifters for this, I glued a couple of stop blocks. So now when I put my saw in, you can't push it back anymore. It's right where it's supposed to be. But it's just been a great little bench, and I use this thing pretty hard. It is 23 3/4 inches wide, and exactly 8 feet long. So it's pretty much exactly 1/2 sheet of plywood wide by the time you take out your saw kerfs. So I have a 3/4 birch top, and this is all 1/2 inch BC pine for the sides and the bottoms to save a little bit on weight. The holes here are done with a hole saw at the ends. So you just hole saw each end, and then take your straight edge, make a mark, and cut that out with a jigsaw. Fast and easy. You could also just mark it with a cup and do the whole thing with a jigsaw pretty easily as well. It'll save you a little less kicking around with a 4 or 5 inch hole saw. It looks like it's a 4.5 inch deal there, and the finished height of this is 7 5/8. So it's nice and thin. It's lightweight enough that you can pick this right up and take it to a job site, especially when you have no tools in it. It's pretty easy to handle and work with. I've considered making another one for the back and maybe putting more of the dedicated router table in the center of that, but truthfully, having this out here in this end of this wing has been great, because I can walk all the way around my router. I can use it from any direction that I need to on a job site, and accessibility is a big deal in those positions like that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you guys this again, and a few updates that I made with the T-Track and everything, and let you know it's still working out fantastic for me, and I'd highly recommend you build something similar to it. You can even build just the top if that's what you wanted to do. You could even laminate it double thick and drill it out the same way with your spots for everything. But I wanted to build it deep enough to where my miter saw could fit in easily, and it wouldn't compromise the bench in the middle and cause it to break, maybe if it was in the bed of the pickup or something bouncing down the road. But it's held up now for 2 years, I believe, that this has been going to job sites. It looks like the plywood on this is January 2018, so we're in March of 2020, so it's a good couple of years. But thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll get some more videos out. I'm going to get back to my coffee. Thank y'all for stopping by.